Welcome to Great Loop Lifestyle. Today we are in Southport, North Carolina. This is Kim Russo with America's Great Loop Cruisers Association. Southport is at the mouth of the Cape Fear River, and we were very excited to pull into Southport Marina. Lots to see and do within a mile of this marina, which is what we like to highlight in these videos. To start off with, Southport is a very historic city. It was founded in 1792 as Smithville. And it also has a storied history of pirates. And if you're familiar with pirates and pirate lore, you have probably heard of Stede Bonnet, the gentleman pirate. He was captured here in Southport in 1719. And in addition to a pirate history, there was also some protection needed in Southport against Spanish privateers. And that's one of the reasons the fort here was built. But we'll visit the fort in a minute. First, I want to show you the Southport waterfront, which is a series of restaurants here along the waterway. And also along the Southport waterfront is the home of one of our wonderful harbor hosts. And if you're not familiar with harbor hosts, they are AGLCA volunteers who volunteer to assist other loopers who are coming through their home port. So when you arrive in Southport, this particular harbor host will be looking out his view there from his porch, and he's looking for those AGLCA birdies and will hail you on the VHF and invite you to his porch for docktails. So he and his wife are well-known harbor hosts. We do not give out harbor host names or information in public forums like YouTube, so that's why I'm not specifically naming them. But unfortunately, they were not in town when we were there, but another harbor host greeted us, who has been a longtime friend, and she brought us over to the front porch there to enjoy docktails and take some pictures, since that's kind of a looper famous place. So we enjoyed our time there on the river. But if you walk just a short bit down the river from that point, you will start to come to some of the historic sites of Southport. First up is Fort Johnston. This fort was built in 1745 in part to protect from those privateers I mentioned. And on the grounds there, inside what was the fort, is now the visitor center and museum. And it's a lovely museum that gives the history of Southport and some modern history as well, too. Southport is a very popular place now for TV shows and movies to be filmed. But there's a beautiful grassy area right on the waterfront there by the fort to explore. Also at this location is the North Carolina Maritime Museum. We seem to be developing a knack for arriving at places when some of the attractions are closed, so that was the case on this Monday, so we missed out on that. But there's also a beautiful waterfront park that is perfect for strolling as you are making your way through the historic part of Southport. Another historic place to visit while here in Southport is the Smithville Burying Grounds. This is an historic cemetery. It dates back to the 1800s, actually probably to the 1700s. The earliest stone marker found there dates to 1804, but they suspect that there are earlier stones dating back to the building of Fort Johnston in 1745. This was a series of stones next to each other that were all marked for captains who died at a fairly young age, mostly in the 1800s and early 1900s. Moving on to restaurants, I mentioned there is a harbor host who is also a friend here in Southport. So we had the luxury of a car and did visit some restaurants that were outside this 1 mile zone we try to stick to. But she highly recommended Oliver's on the waterfront. We did not have the opportunity to eat there because it was pretty busy each time we came by. But we did get the chance to dine one evening at Moore Oyster Bar, which I believe is owned by the same people as Oliver's, and that is right there on West Moore Street, where there are a lot of restaurants and shops. Also, right next to it is the Blue Cow Grill, where I enjoyed a burger one day for lunch. And this is just the view of that street where both of those restaurants are. Continuing on to shopping, there are no groceries in this 1 mile area in Southport, so that is something that you will have to travel a little bit further to find when you're visiting if you are in need. As I said, there were lots of shops along this West Moore Street area. But one standout was Ocean Outfitters, and if you are in need of any clothes, shoes, sunglasses, other type things that you can wear aboard your boat and that are very boating friendly, this is definitely a place for you. As has been the case for many of the towns we visited, one of my favorite things to do in Southport was just roam the streets and stroll down these historic streets with these wonderful houses along the waterfront. Again, live oaks lining the streets and the azaleas were in bloom. and just straight after straight of beautiful, well-kept historic homes and beautiful waterfront views. So much to see when you're just strolling the streets of Southport. We also had docktails at Southport Marina while I was there, and I'd like to thank the crews of Shandy, True North, La Vida, Cruising Cat, and Ecstasy for joining us, and I hope I haven't forgotten anyone, but it was a fun time having everybody out at the marina and just enjoying that famous looper camaraderie. So that was our visit to Southport. We were there for about a day and a half and then moved on to Carolina Beach, which was just a short trip up the road. So that is our next leg, and that will be our next Great Loop Lifestyle video coming from Carolina Beach. Thanks for watching.